Okay, welcome to lesson 111. This is the volume and surface area of a sphere. Okay, and your objective is there. First thing that we need to do is put formulas in. Okay, and we're just going to use these formulas to find the volume of a sphere and the surface area of a sphere. Okay, there are formulas for each one of these things. Okay, the volume of a sphere, the formula is 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. Okay, 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. You can write it like that, or we can just write it more commonly as 4/3 pi radius cubed. Okay, either one of those is the volume formula for a sphere. Okay, and we will have one example for that. Alright, then we need to know the surface area of a sphere. The surface area of a sphere, the formula for that is 4 times pi times the radius squared, or 4 pi radius squared. Okay? Again, both of those formulas, so when you're doing your assignment, make sure you have these notes in front of you to get the formulas down, because that's all you're going to need to do is plug in numbers to the formula. Alright, and let's go on to our two examples. A ball with a diameter of 20 centimeters has a volume of how many cubic centimeters? Okay, it says round your answer to the nearest 100 cubic centimeters. It also says to use 3.14 for pi. Okay, so again, we're finding volume. So the volume of a sphere, first thing I want to do is write down the formula, which is 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. Okay, now we're just going to plug in the numbers. So I'm going to do 4/3 times pi, in this case I'm using 3.14, times my radius cubed. Okay, and my radius in this case is 10 because my diameter is 20. Okay, and the radius is half the diameter. Alright, so now we need to multiply these numbers together. Well, it's not easy to multiply a fraction by a decimal. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and do the exponent anyway. So we got 4/3 times 3.14, and 10 cubed is 1,000. Okay, and again, we just said this. So fractions and decimals aren't easy to multiply by, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply this by this first. Okay, so I got 4/3 times, and then 3.14 times 1,000. That's just like moving the decimal over 1, 2, 3 times. So it's 3,140. Okay, and then I need to multiply 4/3 by 3,140. So I'm going to go ahead and take 4/3 times 3,140 over 1. Okay? Well, 3 and 3,140 can't simplify, so I need to just multiply straight across here. Okay? 4 times 3,140 is 12,560, and 3 times 1 is 3. Okay? Now again, a lot of times I told you if you can't simplify to go ahead and leave your answer like this. However, in this case, it says round to the nearest 100 cubic centimeters. Alright, so that means I actually need to divide this out. So I'm going to take 12,560 divided by 3, and then round it off to the nearest 100, okay, cubic centimeters. So 12 doesn't go into 1, or 3 doesn't go into 1, but it goes into 12 4 times. And I subtract, and 12 minus 12 is 0. Bring down the 5. Okay, 3 goes into 5 1 time, and that's 3. And I subtract and get 2, and bring down my 6. Okay, and 3 goes into 26, that is 8 times. Okay, and I get 24, 2, and bring down the 0. and 3 goes into 26 times. Okay, now I could keep going and make this a decimal, however, it told me to round it to the nearest hundred. Okay, so I've already got enough decimal places to round this to the nearest hundred. So 4,186 rounded to the nearest hundred is 4,200 centimeters cubed for the volume of the sphere. Okay, and let's go on to our last example. Alright, example 2 says the diameter of a softball is nearly 10 centimeters. Find the surface area of the softball. Okay, and express the answer twice, once in terms of pi, so once leaving the answer with pi, and once using 3.14, or finding an approximated answer. Okay, well, first thing I'm going to do is make sure I know that I got a softball with a diameter of 10 centimeters. Okay, and I didn't draw it necessarily as a sphere. I just need to remember that I'm finding the surface area of a sphere and not a circle. Okay, because a softball is a 3D shape, so it would be a sphere. So I need to find the surface area of a sphere, and the area for that was 4 times pi times radius squared. Okay, again it says express the answer twice, once in terms of pi and once using 3.14 for pi. So I need one answer leaving pi. Okay, so I'm going to first leave it with pi in the answer. So I'm going to do 4 times pi times my radius. Well, my radius in this case is 5. And it's the radius squared. Okay, again, diameter 10 means radius is 5. So now I got to do the exponent first. So I've got 4 times pi times 5 squared is 25. Then I'm going to multiply the number parts together and just put pi afterwards. Okay, so one answer I'm going to get is 100 pi centimeters cubed. Or sorry, squared, because it's surface area. Okay, centimeters squared. So I'm going to rewrite my answers over here. That's one answer, 100 pi centimeters squared. And the other answer I want using 3.14 for pi, which means instead of leaving pi, I'm going to multiply 100 by 3.14. So I'm going to take 100 times 3.14. Okay, and 100 times 3.14 is 314 centimeters squared. So that's my other answer. 100 pi centimeters squared, and sorry, this should be squared, 100 pi centimeters squared, or about 314 centimeters squared for the surface area of the sphere. Okay, again, just using the formulas, plugging in the numbers, using simple algebra to solve it on out. Alright, and that's your lesson, so happy homeworking.